Cam, I think it's around 2002. He dropped his album, Come Home With Me.
Yeah.
Classic album, blows up.
Super classic.
Classic hip hop right there. But you said you didn't even make the album.
No, not Cam album. I wasn't even down when Cam dropped. I was around his associates or whatever, but I wasn't down with the set officially when he dropped that first album. When he dropped the first mixtape, because we was the first rap groups to put out street mixtapes. I know they think it's G-Unit and all that. Shouts to the unit, but we was the first guys. You know what I'm saying? So when they dropped the first one, that's when I was around. You know what I mean? I was on every project. You know what I mean?
Got you. You know something? When Cam did start to blow and the first diplomatic, and you're right, it's Diplomatic Immunity.
Yeah, that's the first album. Yeah.
Yeah, and you ain't make that album.
Yeah, because the record didn't get clear. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you part of the crew. Did you get to go out on tour with them at that point?
Yeah, I was on tour.
Word?
Yeah, I was on every tour, especially that tour. But since I didn't make the album, what I was doing was, matter of fact, the day I found out I didn't make the album, I was pissed off because I that was the biggest thing for me. I told everybody, you know how friends got the secret hate. Friends got the secret hate. So once they found out I wasn't on the album, some of my friends calling me like, "Damn, I thought you was on the album." They got Uncasa all over the intro. I'm like, wow. So I was tight. Then I got a call to come to Flex that night with everybody. I'm like, oh, all right, so I'm going to go crazy. Whatever I could have did on the album, I'm going to do that times 100. So I remember getting up with Brazzy. He had Uncasa with him. And, you know, on his hype, because he on the intro, he had the little Dipset bird. I ain't have shit. I'm just like, he like, yo, you know, now I got the Dipset bird, so I'm going to give you this little cross. I got you. I'm like, all right. So we go upstairs. It was over from there. Like, everybody is chilling. They got Cristal, food. I ain't want none of that. I'm just waiting for the interviews to be over so I could go rap. I rapped for like 6 minutes. Cam just so happened to choose me to start it off. After that, it was over.
That is where, you know, especially if you was around that time and you was a huge fan of that New York hip hop, that was coming kind of like your coming out party. When people really focused and was like, yo, this dude JR. Like, I know the streets knew you, but I remember that night. I remember when y'all went up to Flex and you went, but I didn't know it was for 6 minutes, but it felt like it was forever.
Yes.
And you went crazy on the mic.
Yeah,
and I was like, yo, damn, like, who's supposed to come behind this?
Yeah, I couldn't wait. I had so many bars, and I had way more than that. I just ran out of steam because I was rapping for so long, and they all going crazy anyway. You know what I'm saying? But that was a classic moment. I ain't really seen that many groups recreate that. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to freestyles. Like, me, Cam, and Hell Rel went up to Hot 97 and did 5 songs live just to say, we do freestyles, but do this. Let me see y'all do this. Hooks, verses, one take, live. You know what I mean? That was the thing for us. Just to solidify, you know what I mean?
Now, that movement was different, man. That movement, it was dope. It was dope what y'all was doing at that time. Okay, 2003 roll around. And, you know, the second album, Diplomatic Immunity 2, drops.
Right.
This time it's Redemption. You actually made the album. What was you on, like 4 songs or something?
Nah, I was probably like on 6. I was on the intro, the outro, like singles. You know what I'm saying? Like, my face on a big tour bus. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's a little bit different then. Right? Matter of fact, when that album dropped, I had just signed my deal. So, you know, I was feeling myself by then.
You know, you said earlier, you was like, yo, you had a bid more for you.
Yeah.
Do you remember who that bid more was between?
It was Violator. Shouts to rest in peace, Chris Lighty. It was Sony. It was Warner Brothers Asylum, Joey Aye and them.
Yep.
And
Shout out to Joey.
And it was Koch Records. And Koch was offering the most and the better deal as far as the percentage off the sales and shit. So I ended up going with Koch. And they was doing one-offs where it's like I give them the album, I'm not stuck, I'm not bonded in, I could keep it moving and keep making my money. You know what I mean? We had sweet deals over there.
Yo, it's crazy because I remember them days, and shout to Cam on this, because I remember early on, like a lot of people ain't want to sign the Koch. And Cam was over there and he was making a lot of money on that label. And he really showed people like, yo, you don't have to go to the majors. Like you can do a deal with one of these smaller labels, you able to move free the way you want to, right. and they were spending real money. So it didn't surprise me that you took that deal over there. Your first album come out, was you pleased with it? This dropped in like 2006. You're hot, you're fish grease at this time. Do you feel like they did their part in promoting it and getting it out there?
Hell yeah. I was number 2 on Billboard. Rap album in the country, number 2. The only reason I wasn't number 1 was rest in peace, Pimp C had came out the same week. He was number 1.
That's a hard one to beat. Yeah.
He was number 1. But I was super happy. Like, I had Lil Wayne, Dame Dash, Cameron, Jewels, Jim Jones in the Heights on the block. The whole block shut off. That was my first album. That was my first single. I had Lil Wayne on the block for hours, not just coming through here and there, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. No, we on the block deep. Police got shit barricaded because every time we walked to the trailers, that was my first video shoot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was super satisfied with the numbers, with the charts, how the charts looked. Hell yeah. I mean, that set me up for my second deal. My second deal, the reason why I'm dropping we could get to that, but I'm on my sophomore album because after my first album that we speaking of, I ended up doing mixtape deals. I was like one of the first artists besides Lil Wayne to just give a label a mixtape and they're with no direction, whatever. Just, how mixtape is put together. It's a mixture of different songs. And they cut me a 6-figure check.
Okay, slow down there because I know you dropped like 15 mixtapes at least over your career. Writer's Block, you done had like four or five of them joints by itself.
Yeah, right.
But I always thought you was just putting these out as promotion. You telling me you was putting these out and actually getting a check for them through the labels?
At first, how I got because even being down with Cam, when you first get down, it's not like easy going where it's like, you got this, and we're gonna set up press for you. We gonna make sure you get with the producers. I had to fight for mine. I would go, Cam would be like, yo, I'm downtown at my MTV, pull up. Even though I'm not getting on camera, I'm just there, I'm around. And then out of nowhere, in front of everybody, he'd be like, let me hear something. I heard that already, let me hear something. You slacking? You know what I'm saying? So it just, it took, I had to get his attention and put out mixtapes, like put out Writer's Block 1 on my own, me and Duke the God. That's when CDs was popping. So we'll make, a couple thousands just off of that, you know what I'm saying, and push CDs. And that's how I got hot in the hood as far as New York, in the street, you know what I'm saying? And by the time I got to part 3, I put out Writer's Block 1, 2. Cam was a part of 3. I had a few people on it. And then I ended up getting a deal for Writer's Block 4, and then for a 6-figure check from Warner Brothers. And then my Writer's Block 5, I went and got myself a bigger deal, $250,000. You know what I'm saying? Just for a mixtape. So yeah, that's why I never put out a sophomore album. I was content with just one-offs, like, yeah.
Oh, so that's crazy. See, I never knew this. I'm thinking you pushing these joints on the street, you making little street money. I didn't know that you was catching real 6- and 7-figure checks behind these.
In the beginning, it was, it was a grind. Canal Street, 14th Street, all the mixtape spots.
Yep.
25th, but once I got to part 3, because I was pushing them shits out. Once I got to part 3, after that, I ended up just getting the deals for them, and I didn't have to put out an album. I could just, and even those mixtapes, after my first album, those mixtapes charted as well. You could look those up too. They was on Billboard charts as well. So I wasn't just giving away money, just doing whatever. Here's a mixtape, let me get some money. It was well put together too. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my biggest songs, Get 'Em. That was off of my mixtape.